Hello everyone, welcome back to Yap Sessions. Today I want to talk about why new games don't get popular. And if you don't know what I mean by that, essentially since like 2017, 2018, the most popular games, or I guess the top games in the gaming community as a whole, have been the same four games. It's been Fortnite, Minecraft, GTA, and Call of Duty, maybe with the addition of Roblox. But even then, it's mostly been those four games. Roblox and GTA are probably interchangeable. But since then, it's been like the same four games. Those games are the most popular. People don't really play a lot of new games, and that's not to say that new games don't come out. New games have been coming out every single day. If you look hard enough, a new game is coming out right now. Probably there's new games being made every single day. New games being released every single day. But why those games don't get popular, I think, is a good question to ask. Because as a gaming community, I think we are as a gaming community as a whole, I think we can be mostly to blame for these games not getting popular. Now, when you think of what makes a game popular and what makes a game good and what makes a game, what makes a game popular in the first place, I think you can look at Fortnite as probably the best example, or Minecraft as the best example, because those games both got popular for one simple reason. They were simple, they were easy to play, and they were easy to understand, and they were multiplayer and cross-platform. Those qualities, I think, are what make a game popular, in the sense that if a game is complex, or if a game is, if a game is like a grindy sort of game, or if a game is too complex, it's not going to make a player want to play that game, because a lot of gamers, like myself included, they don't want to play games that are complex, or that have super complex systems to them, or that are, that have a specific learning curve. They want to play a game that's simple. Take Fortnite, for example. When it first came out, it was simple. You drop in, you get loot, and then you kill the first player you find. There was a building system, of course, but people learned that over time, and not everybody was good at building. It wasn't really until building became a massive thing, when creative came out, that it became like you need to know how to build in order to play the game. And even then, by then, most people were good enough at the game to where they could play it pretty much, they could play it pretty casually and pretty easily. And I think same thing with Minecraft here. Like, it just started as a basic survival game, right? Originally, it wasn't super complex, it wasn't hard to understand, it was just drop in, you get wood, you just start a new world and you just survive, right? And even then, there was YouTubers that were making videos and things like that. And I think the main problem with gaming as a whole now is that a lot of gamers, one, they don't want to try new things, and one, they don't want to commit to new things. Me included. Like, for example, we could use a game like Helldivers, for example. Helldivers, at its core, is a good game, right? It's well thought out, it's playable, but at its core, Helldivers is complex in a good way, but it's complex nonetheless. It's not simple like Fortnite or Minecraft. And another thing I think that made Helldivers not that popular was the fact that it's not cross-play, but we'll get into that in a minute. Helldivers is complex, and so for a lot of gamers who are trying a new game, they don't want to try to understand complex systems. Like, for example, Elden Ring has a super complex system, making it not playable for a lot of people. Games like Helldivers that are more complex, if you put a few hours into trying to understand them, or a few days into trying to understand the way they work, and the way they're played, and the way these systems work, you get it, right? You get the game and you understand the game. But a lot of gamers just want to hop on. They just want to play a simple game, right? They don't want to give these other games a chance that are, not as simplistic or not as popular, but they're just, they're different. And I think that is another thing that contributes to that, is the difference in games. A lot of gamers want to play the same type of game. That's if you look at the most popular games right now, it's mostly the same type of game. It's a shooter of some kind, or it's a survival game of some kind. It's Call of Duty or Fortnite. Those are, like, I think, the two top shooter games. You have Call of Duty, a shooter game; Fortnite, a shooter game, or you have Minecraft, which is a survival game, or you have like, you could switch in GTA or Roblox or whatever other game you want to switch in as the fourth. It's oftentimes, it's a competitive game, I think you could say. And I think that's another thing that contributes to that, is the fact that a lot of gamers are competitive. Again, myself included. I'm not, acting high and mighty here. I'm not like, oh yeah, I'm different. I'm not. Trust me. I've been playing the same four games for fucking 6 years almost. I've been playing, the same genre of games for years. It's easy to play a shooter game, right? It's easy to understand. They mostly have the same premise. Not a lot of gamers want to get good at different games. Like a lot of gamers just want to play they want to play a game that's easy. They want to play a game that's, you don't have to sit here and try to understand it. You don't have to sit here and, like, try to get good at the game because it's easy. Point and shoot, right? That's a lot of what contributes to games not getting popular nowadays is the fact that it's easy. Gamers don't want to put effort into a game. They don't want to put time into a game to actually make it, worth their while. They just want to get on. They want to play a game that's easy, and they want to they just want to play, right? They don't want to try to have to learn a game. And I think that, in a lot of senses, contributes to the sort of trend of games not getting popular, is the fact that the gaming community as a whole, they don't want to give new games a chance. Two, they don't want to commit to any new games. And three, I think the third one can be blamed on the developers in the sense that a lot of games nowadays, they're the exact same. A lot of games that came out recently are, let's use Dauntless, let's use The Finals, let's use Helldivers, and let's use The First Ascendant, okay? All of those games, at their core, they're shooter games, right? You might not realize it, but at their core, they're shooter games. And I think that, as a whole, contributes to games. Like Marvel Rivals. I think that's a game that came out recently that has a chance of maybe overtaking some of these more popular games. But even then, I think at the end of the day, Marvel Rivals won't become one of the big three or one of the big four, or however you want to classify it, because at the end of the day, people don't want to commit. Marvel Rivals is a game where you have to learn the different characters. You have to learn the different skill sets. You have to learn the different moves. Each character in the game has a skill set that pertains to a certain type of player. Like, each person has their main, right? And I think that makes Marvel Rivals a really good game, but it also makes it a really hard game to actually get super, super popular, because, like, right now it's super popular because it came out, but I think, unfortunately, the sad fact is that in maybe 2 or 3 weeks' time, maybe a month's time, I think the hype on Marvel Rivals will probably die down, just because people don't want to sit here and commit to learning a new game. They don't want to sit here and commit to learning a different, set of mechanics or whatever. And I think that ultimately is what's going to lead to Fortnite, Call of Duty, Minecraft, all of these other games. It's going to lead to these games being the big three or the big four. It's going to lead to these games being the main ones that people play. When you text your friends, it's not, oh, hey, hop on Marvel Rivals, or, oh, hey, hop on The Finals. It's hop on Fortnite, hop on Minecraft, hop on COD. It's not... A lot of these games that are coming out that are, being put work and effort into, they're not going to get popular, because at the end of the day, the gaming community, they either follow what the big streamers are playing, which is all of the easy games, or they follow whatever their friends are playing, which is all of the big games, And I think something we can do to fix this is just, as a whole, give other games a chance. Whether we boycott games like Fortnite and Call of Duty, because let's be real, at this point, both of those games have become a shell of their former glory. Both of those games have not been put a lot of work into. They're not really... the developers don't really care. They're just making money off of the games. Games like Fortnite, games like Call of Duty. A lot of the updates for those games not really being put a lot of effort into. I think the developers at this point know that no matter what, their game is going to be the most popular, and no matter what, they're not going to have to actually try to play a new game or to make good updates. So I think that ultimately is contributing to the downfall of a lot of these games not being as popular as maybe they should be. So I think, as a whole, this goes out to every gamer, myself included. If you see a new game, give it a shot. I don't care whether it looks interesting to you or not. Just give it a chance. Because at the end of the day, I don't think any game is going to become as popular, or any game that deserves to be more popular or deserves to have the spotlight is going to actually get the spotlight, unless the gaming community as a whole takes a chance and makes that game popular, or takes a chance and actually tries to put that game to the forefront and play that game and learn that game and talk about that game and make it popular. Because at this point, once a game gets super popular and once a game stays super popular, the developers, Fortnite, case in point, the developers stopped caring. They stopped giving a shit. They just put out half-baked updates like Fortnite again. I know I keep using Fortnite as an example, but it's the game I think I can refer to as the most. Like, for example, Chapter 6, in my opinion, it was very half-baked. Chapter 6 was just kind of... It was horribly done. Not horribly done, but it was lazily done. It was half-assed. It wasn't really, a lot of thought was put into the game. Sure, like, these developers are, like, super fun, flashy, new movement mechanics. Ooh, look, a sword, we haven't had that before. All of these different things, like, that have been put into the game, a lot of it's, like, half-assed, a lot of it's not really that creative. And so I think if we want to get new games popular, or if we want to save gaming as a whole, or we want to stop playing games like this, I think as a whole, the gaming community, not just the players, but the streamers as well, and the people that make the games, give new games a shot. I think that's the biggest thing this is the biggest message I can put to any gamer out there who's looking to find a new game. Just give it a new shot. A game might not look interesting or it might not look fun, but just play it. The games like Marvel Rivals. That game is amazing. I truly love that game. I made a video on it a couple weeks ago. It was incredible. Like, I didn't enjoy it as much at the moment because I wasn't super into it. But the more I play it, the more I found myself enjoying it. The more I found myself, wow, like, I really want to play Marvel Rivals today. And I think that ultimately contributes to what makes a game good. Like, again, another game that I think really sucks that it's not as popular is the Finals. For me, the Finals was an amazing game. I played it. It was great. I loved it. And I think the only reason I stopped playing it was just because it was too competitive. And that's another thing as well. Quick side note before I end the video. Can we stop being so competitive in games? I think Fortnite's mostly to blame for this, but Call of Duty as well. I think gaming as a whole has become so competitive in the sense that players want to get on and they want to win. They don't want to have fun. They don't want to enjoy the game with their friends. They don't want to sit here and actually learn a game's mechanics or just play and have fun or just, make jokes and make memes. They want to be good at the game. They want to shit on other players and they want to feel good about themselves and get a fucking what's it called? They want to get almost like a natural high off of the game, in the sense that, like, they want to feel good. They want to get like a feel good high, and they want to be like, yeah, I'm good at the game. Like, I'm good at life. I did something, and in all reality, you really didn't. All you did was hop on the game for maybe a few hours, and you shat on someone who was trying to have fun and trying to enjoy themselves and trying, not as hard as you were trying, and you just shat on them because they were going about their day, enjoying themselves, and you just ruined it. Like, it happens to me more oftentimes than you would possibly think. And if you are out there, like, if you're watching this video and you're one of those people who is a tryhard, and you're one of those people who is, you're one of those people who is trying way too hard at a game that you're probably shouldn't be trying as hard at, or you're trying way too hard and you're sweating your ass off, please stop. Like genuinely stop. Maybe have some fun and have some enjoyment in the game. Like, there's always going to be competitive players. That's part of gaming. There's always going to be tryhards. There's always going to be players who are going to sweat their absolute dick off, and there's always going to be players who are going to try way too hard, and they're going to shit on you because they are better than you. At the end of the day, there's always going to be someone who's better than you. But I think as a whole, if the gaming community tones down the competitiveness a lot, I think we would all be better off for it. I think the gaming community would be better off for it, and I think games that deserve to be popular, games like Marvel Rivals or games like the Finals, games that are really well thought out, games that are creatively made, and games that are that deserve the spotlight, games that deserve to be played and deserve to be talked about, those games would get the attention and get the get the popularity that they deserve. And at the end of the day, the gaming community would be better off for it, because I think I can speak for all gamers when we say we're tired of playing the same 4 games. I actually have reached a point in my life where, yeah, I'm hopping on Fortnite, yeah, I'm playing Fortnite a lot, but at the end of the day, I want to play another game, and I just can't, because at the end of the day, every time I try to play a new game, it's either too competitive or it's too much of a copycat, And that's another thing. Stop comparing every new game to every existing game. Like Marvel Rivals, I compared it to Overwatch in my video, but at the end of the day, it's not Overwatch, At the end of the day, a game like the Finals or a game like Marvel Rivals, it's not going to be the same game that it's based off of or the same genre that it's in, Marvel Rivals is its own game. Sure, it's killing Overwatch because it's better than Overwatch, and it is Overwatch, but better in every single way. But at the end of the day, it's not going to be. It's not Overwatch. You know, Marvel Rivals is not Overwatch. The Finals is not Call of Duty. Call of Duty is not Fortnite. Every game is its own individual unit. And once we start looking at these different games as their own individual game, as their own individual, as their own individual experience, I think at that point we as a community can kind of move on into playing games that actually deserve to be played because they actually had effort put into it, because the developers actually cared about making a game that the players would enjoy and that the players can have fun on, not just a game that was going to make a quick buck. Because yes, make a game to make money, sure. I get at the end of the day, you're going to have to make money off of a game. You can't just put money into a game and, not get money out. But I think at the end of the day, it's the games that are made for the sake of gamers' enjoyment that are going to get more popular and that are going to make the most money, not the games that are put little effort into. I think at the end of the day, games like Fortnite, if we stop playing games like that, or if we, sort of move away from games like that and we just kind of find balance in games that are actually good, and if we, find balance in playing new games, I think that as a whole is what's going to help the community move on from the same old games, I guess. I'm not trying to sound like super, wisdom here or whatever, but I think that as a whole can help to make gaming better again, because at the moment gaming is not fun. I oftentimes I'll see myself getting into a game or getting on the game, and I just sit there at the home screen of my PlayStation because it's like I don't really want to play anything right now, because you really don't want to play anything. You don't want to sit here spending your time on a game that likely that the developers don't give a shit about you, because the game is ass. It's not good. It's never been good, and it will never be good again, because once the developers make their quick buck and once they realize they can just put little effort into the game and get money still, that's exactly what happened with Fortnite. It was a good game. Fortnite's updates were good. They were consistent. And then Epic Games realized, hey, we don't have to put effort into our games because our players will buy our shit anyways. And then that's what happened. They chalked the games full of collabs, which, granted is what it's supposed to be, but still. And at the end of the day, gaming as a whole, fell off. And I think that if we can find a way to play new games and give new games a chance, then we'll move on from this ideal that, the same games have to stay popular. But yeah, those are my thoughts. Let me know if you have any of your own. Again, these are all my thoughts, so don't get triggered or offended. These are my opinions. If you have opinions of your own, I would love to hear them. Please give me a fucking 5-paragraph, spell-checked, worded essay. I would love to read it. But yeah, that's all I have for today. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.